Hey, it's Wade Bowen, and you're about to enter Wade's world. Let's go.
What a better way to wait out the quarantine or the impending apocalypse from COVID-19 than boarding up the windows and singing along to Mood Ring. It's Wade. It's Wade. It's Wade. Wade's world. It's Wade. Hell yeah, boy.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another Wade's world. So glad that we're bringing these back. It's been an absolute blast from the moment we started doing these until we took a little breather, and now we're back doing some more. I just absolutely have loved playing music when we were shut down. I loved it, and now we continue to not only play music but get to hang out with buddies and listen to music and be a fan and enjoy music from a different perspective and talk about music. And so Wade's World this week, live from my humble abode, my house here in New Braunfels, Texas. Y'all please make welcome my longtime buddy, good friend, singer-songwriter, Mr. Mike Ryan, everybody. Hey!
How we doing? Good to be here today.
Man, so glad you, look, I even did homework. I have
Look
notes
at
on
that.
Mike Ryan.
My man.
They're pages and pages. No, I tried to do as much homework as I could, man. But mainly we're here to enjoy, do a little song swapping, and talk about music, talk about life, talk about love, heartbreak, whatever the heck you want to talk about.
You got it, man.
These people have been so good to us. We jumped on this thing on the live streams right when the pandemic hit. We jumped on it, and I mean, from the moment we did it, people, the one constant we found over and over again was that no matter what's going on in the world, people still need, want, and crave music more than anything. Mm-hmm. So that's the beauty of what we're doing and why we're here today. I really have wanted to keep these Wade's Worlds going for so many reasons. Mainly, like I said, I love music, and I love songwriters, especially guys like you. So why don't we'll jump into a song, let you play a song here, and then we'll dive into your personal diary.
You got it. Well, this is a new one here. This one's called Long Cut. I know every shortcut, every back road in this town. Anywhere I want to go, I know my way around. I can time it right, miss every light, get there and back at 15 flat. When I'm on my way to pick you up, that's how I drive. When it's time to take you home at the end of the night, I'm gonna take my time. I ain't in no hurry, you don't wanna call it a night. Baby, don't you worry, we can pull on one lane, kick on a hazard, wait on a train, follow a tractor. A whole lot of ways around here to get held up. If that sounds good to you, baby, you're in luck. 'Cause I know a long cut. There's a whole lot of letters we can fit between A and B. Dirt roads and detours that you ain't ever seen. If the moon is bright, we can kill the lights, slow it down and get turned around. From here back to your place, it's a real short drive. But as long as you're singing along with your pretty little hand in mine, I'm gonna take my time. I ain't in no hurry, you don't wanna call it a night. Baby, don't you worry, we can pull on one lane, kick on a hazard, wait on a train, follow a tractor. A whole lot of ways around here to get held up. If that sounds good to you, baby, you're in luck. 'Cause I know a long cut. Well, I can make 10 miles take an hour or more. Girl, whenever we're together, I don't want to cut it short. I'm gonna take my time. I ain't in no hurry, you don't want to call it you worry. We can pull on one lane, kick on a hazard, wait on a train, follow a tractor. There's a whole lot of ways around here to get held up. That sounds good to you, baby, you're in luck. 'Cause I know a long cut, I know a long cut.
Yeah, man. Woo! Good stuff,
you.
man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Working on some new stuff, right? You and I were talking before. You're working on a new record,
sir.
which is always a long, crazy process.
It is. It is. Yeah, this year especially. We had it about halfway done, maybe February of 2020, and then everything happened the way that it did, and we had to put it on the back burner for a little while. We're recording out in Nashville, and we had probably 6 or 7 songs done, and then we just had to kind of take a break. But we've been back recently, finished up a few more. We might have 1 or 2 more left to record. New singles out now, but the rest of the album will be sometime later this year. But it's exciting always for me to get back in the studio and work on new stuff. It's just been a little bit of a longer process this time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about how 2020 was just, and I found it also like very difficult to write. I mean, there was so much going on internally, so many emotions, and then all of a sudden it seemed like the floodgates just kind of opened, and once we all settled into it, and I hear a lot of people that it took a long time for them to write, and then all of a sudden it just started clicking, and then they started writing a ton, and now you're starting to see it. If there's a lot of silver linings to 2020 for sure, but we're starting to see a lot of people releasing new music, coming up or talking about new music, playing new stuff like that one. I mean, it's cool. It's cool that there's that if there's a silver lining to it all, that there's going to be new music, a lot of it, because that's all we could do for a long time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited about being able to go out and play shows and get these songs out. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting past 13, 14 months or so.
God, wasn't it? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Did you drink any?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I sure did.
All right, we're song swapping here at my house in New Braunfels, Texas. This is my buddy Mike Ryan, and I'm trying to play some that everybody wants to hear, always requested it, and then we'll throw in some random ones just to please myself. I always say request that I may want to play. She blew in from out of town, Georgia tags and a ragtop down, turning heads in the neighborhood, half down home, half Hollywood, looking good. She had too much rent and rolled up cash, and a blue tick hound that she called Nash. Sent a postcard on with an ocean view. It just got in my mind, it's you. Well, she prays every night, and when she wakes every morning, the sun shines on a dreamer, shines a light on you when you listen to your heart. The sun shines on a dreamer, oh, shines a light on you through the dark. Well, she met Joe at the grocery, yeah, late one night, 903. All standing next to the refried beans, yeah, just shining through his old blue jeans. Well, hello is all it took, and they're out rambled on down the road. The sun shines on a dreamer. Oh, shines a light on you when you listen to your heart. The sun shines on a dreamer. Oh, shines a light on you through the dim, through the dark. Yes, so they climbed on to the carousel. Now they're sitting up there on top of the world, with their arms wide open to the sky. Yeah, you got a dream, you wanna fly. Yeah, you got a dream, you wanna fly. Where the sun shines on a dreamer. Oh, shines a light on you when you listen to your heart. The sun shines on a dreamer. Oh, shines a light on you through the dim, through the dark. Yeah, the sun shines on a dreamer. Yeah, shines a light on you when you listen to your heart. The sun shines on a dreamer. Yeah, shines a light on you through the dim, through the dark. The virtual applause. That was the hardest part. I remember when we first started doing these, the hardest part was getting used to finishing a song and there just being
Nothing.
Air
conditioning.
it's so funny to watch guests like every week, like all of us just like, it was like Ricky Bobby, what do we do with our hands, you know? We didn't know what to do. So virtual world, thanks for the applause. I'm sure you're all going crazy out there for both of us. So we hear you loud and clear. Man, I want to talk to you because, like, when I hear you sing, I love it. I absolutely love your voice. It's my favorite part about you, your career in general. I love the songs you write. I love hearing you play live. I love the band, everything. But your voice is fantastic. I'm sure you hear that quite often. But you know, like, where did it start for you when you probably had dreams of doing this or something when you were a kid? Maybe talk about that. And then I would love to know where it transitioned into you knowing you had an incredible voice and wanted to do this. You know, I know that's a long gap probably, but
Well, so growing up, my dad was we grew up in San Antonio, and he was in musicals and plays and things like that at the church, and also at this I don't even know if it's still around, but it was called the San Antonio Little Theater, Salt Theater, and he was the lead in Oklahoma. He played Curly. He was in Annie Get Your Gun. He was in Fiddler on the Roof. And
so when you were a kid, you would go watch him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I would
cool.
see Dad, you know, and I didn't know it then that I was going to be doing the same thing, but I would just be a part of an audience watching my dad up on stage and was like, oh, man, like sitting next to my mom when he's kissing somebody else. Like, it's part of the play, you know. It's just, but it was strange to see, but it was also like, man, Dad's like kicking ass up there. It's just awesome as a small child to see like a whole auditorium full of people. That's just he's holding in his hand. You know, he just it was really cool to have that sort of influence. And
there's so much that goes into those, not just jumping up and singing. And
oh yeah,
I mean, there's so much that goes into those plays. My son is really into all that, so I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, I'm sure you saw that that's pretty cool. That's your first experience, musical experience, I guess, would be watching all that, because I love that stuff. I mean, we go to New York to Broadway and all kinds of stuff. So that's really cool introduction to music.
Yeah, and my parents had season tickets to the Majestic Theater in San Antonio, so we would see every musical that came through town. The Symphony would be there a couple times a year or two, and so we were always going out to see a show, and if Dad wasn't in it, somebody we knew was, and it was just really cool. So I just developed a love early on for the theater and the performing arts and stuff, and it wasn't until I was a senior in high school that I started playing guitar, and then like I had a buddy on the football team that played, and he was a lot better than I was at the time, and he was writing songs, and I hadn't started writing yet, but we played a lot that year. He was a year behind me in school, but when I went off to college, I came back that summer after my freshman year, and we played every Tuesday at Tavern on the Green. They had an open mic there, or Tavern in the Green, whatever it is.
Yeah. On the green, in the green. On the Tavern on the Green, in the
Is
green.
it?
I can't remember now. You got me confused.
Yeah.
I used to know that.
I should know if I'm telling a story about how I did it every Tuesday. But anyways, Zach Walther actually hosted this open mic, and we would go every week, and I would play the newest cover song that I learned. And I don't even know if I had any originals at that time, but I was having a great time doing it, and I played guitar. I feel like I just, more than any other instrument or sport or anything, I fell in love with the guitar, and I took it upon myself to just practice and practice all the time. And I got a lot better pretty quick, and so the natural progression after I learned how to play guitar and sing with it was to start writing my own songs. Devin, the guy that I did all these open mics with, we wrote a couple songs together, and as things went on in college, like I had a couple of odd jobs, but I found out like after working for Miller Brewing Company that the corporate life was not for me, and working for somebody else just probably wasn't in the cards, because showing up on time and punctuality and just working for other people, I wasn't so good at. But the whole time I was in college, whatever I was doing for work, I was always playing music and doing stuff on the side. And after a while, I realized I could make rent money and all my other spending money just going out and playing little bar gigs and getting paid for getting tip money and all this stuff. And so I quit doing all those other things and just started focusing more on music. And
you went to North Texas. What drove you to go there? I was thinking something involving music, because it's such a music school, but it's a pretty difficult music school, right?
It is.
Is that why you went there?
Well, that was why I didn't major in music.
Yeah.
Because I found
It's
out
hard.
pretty quickly they were going to teach me a lot more than I really wanted to know and had the stamina for. But
Yeah.
there was...
It's a crazy tough place, I hear.
Oh, yeah.
I never got that far with music either.
They're really good up there. And I've never been super into theory and stuff, like why things work the way they do. I just, I've never had any guitar lessons. I never really had any sort of musical lessons aside from piano when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I just kind of learned how to play by ear and figured out what I liked things to sound like and what worked for me.
So just hear it and play it.
And I just had a lot of fun with it, and the more I did it, the more people were like, "Man, are you planning on doing this for a living?" And I was like, "I don't know yet. I'm in college. I'm seeing what happens." And then after college was over, I kind of gave myself a time limit. I was like, "All right, you got 5 years to see if you can make something happen in the music business. Otherwise, we got to find something else to do."
Which is funny to think about now, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're first starting out, you think, I hear that of a lot of people. Like I don't think I ever thought of it that much. I wasn't that smart to think of it like I'm going to give myself 5 years and then I'm out if it doesn't work, because I always feel like I didn't really have another option, and I did, but but I've heard that from William Clark Green and multiple people saying, here's the timeline. And then of course, looking back, I'm sure you're like, what was I thinking? There's no timeline, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has success in their own time.
Well, for me, after I was finished with school, you know, the help and things I was getting from mom and dad, they were like, all right, well, you know, that's all over. Let's see what you can do. And so only way that I'd really made steady money was just by playing shows. And so I just kept doing that and kept making rent. And meanwhile, I wrote, you know, a bunch of songs, put out a record or two. And who's to say if I would have actually given up after that 5 years, but like 4 years into that 5-year deal, I signed a publishing deal with Seagale out of Nashville. And so it was just, that was a pretty clear sign, like, you should probably keep going.
Yeah, well, that's great. I didn't realize that was a quick 4 years for you, because I guess I heard you play pretty early when you were starting out, because I thought you'd been doing it a little bit longer than that. That's great.
So 2010 was when I started professionally. I you know, 2009 was when I finished up at UNT, and so I think I met you probably around 11 or 12 or something at Hat Tricks in Louisville with my man TA. But no, it was you know, there were definitely some pretty lean months. You know, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to make rent. Luckily, I had, you know, some friends that owned restaurants and things like that would slide me a meal every once in a while, and so it was cool to you know, lean on folks when I needed it. But
yeah, crash on couches when you had to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
But it was a lot of fun doing that.
That's a quick turnaround from when you start till signing a pub deal with Seagull, which is where I was too. I was there right when you signed. Mm-hmm. I was there, and great company, great people, owned by Brad Paisley and Chris Dubois and Frank Rogers at the time. Mm-hmm. Now I think it's just Chris Dubois, but yeah, great company. They did a lot of the great things for me too, and I was there. So that's pretty cool. You met your timeline. You may be the first person I've ever met that said I had a timeline and I actually met it. You know, most of us dumbasses, it takes a lot longer to figure that out. So it's a true credit to the way you sound and the way your professionalism has always been overwhelming to me. So play us a tune, man. Play us another one.
You got it. So this one is actually our single that we just put out. And this one's kind of about, there's different phases to getting through something, whether it be breakup or hard times or just a sticky situation. So you got to think about things, sometimes with your friends, sometimes it's out in public. In this case, it is back porch soul searching time. So it's just like everybody else is gone and it's time to really get to the bottom of things on your own. Well, I just don't get it. Hell, I just don't see a 1 5'2" blue-eyed girl could wreck a guy like me. So here I am on the back porch, it's looking like I'm stuck between a case of Rolling Rock and a heartache. It's gonna be the end of one of us. So pick one up, crack it open, put it to my lips, tip it back and take a sip. Cause if it's gonna be my heart, are these double R's crushed up on the ground, can down. She might have my UT hoodie, she got the last word in that goodbye. But I'm killing these cans, cause I'll be damned if she gonna get my Saturday night. Pick one up, crack it open, put it to my lips, tip it back and take a sip. Cause if it's gonna be my heart, are these double R's crushed up on the ground, can down, can down.
buddy. Heard that the other day. I was like, man, that's a great song. I've heard you play it before, but I finally actually heard the track.
Thanks,
Awesome. What are you doing an oldie? I've been doing it longer than you. I have oldies. You don't have those yet. Well, you just thought that you knew about rumors, man, but you ain't ever lived in my town. Population 153 and it's still going down. And oh, what's his name's running around buried. Well, last I heard he'd already been buried 3 times. Yeah, and you've been gone for what, about 8 years now. Yeah, and they're still spreading rumors about you. You grew your hair long and shaggy. Getting drunk is all that you do. They forgot that you play your music. Well, they gave up on you a long, long time ago. Oh, God bless this town. It's so good to be back home. Oh, how you been doing, Lord? I know it's been so long. Tell your family hello. I'm sure I'll see you around. Yeah, be sure to close the doors, lock 'em up. God bless this town. Well, you know small towns are supposed to be small till being big gets in the way. And if a man doesn't play by their rules, then he's not welcome to stay. Yeah, and politics don't care about 21 years of service. And being a puppet is something he'll never be. Whoa, God bless this town. It's so good to be back home. Whoa, how you been doing, Lord? I know it's been so long. Tell your family hello. I'm sure I'll see you around. Yeah, be sure to close the doors, lock 'em up. God bless this town. Well, keep talking all you want. I guess it's all you will do. Well, soon I'll find my place. Gonna wave as I pass through. Oh, God bless this town. So good to be back home. Oh, how you been doing, Lord? I know it's been so long. Tell all your family hello. I'm sure I'll probably see you around. Yeah, be sure to close all your doors, lock 'em up tight. Yeah, God bless this town. Yeah, God bless this town. Well, you just thought you knew about rumors, man, but you ain't ever lived in my town. No, no, no. Rock and roll ending, baby. Hey, everybody, it's Wade Bowen, my buddy Mike Ryan. We are here at another Wade's World. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate you tuning in and enjoying some music, some stories, buddies hanging out, drinking Shiner beer and whatever else is thrown our way. We are here at my house in New Braunfels, Texas, here in my home, in my garage mahal, as some have nicknamed it, I guess. Man cave, music room, whatever the heck it's called, all kinds of different things, used for all kinds of stuff. But it's always been cool to do stuff in this room. I don't know what it is. There's just some really magic, cool, fun magic that happens in here that I'm really proud of. Luckily, it's right here in my house. So. All right, so if you see at the link below, it's wadebowen.com/tips or tip, whichever you prefer. We are here also today raising money for charity. If you feel the need, the urge, you don't have to by any means, but if you feel the need and urge to donate, we are raising money for the Bowen Family Foundation. Mike has been a loyal compadre to our music fest many, many years. Thankfully, so much, bringing his great music to our event for free so many dang times. So here's a little bit more information on the Bowen Family Foundation. Being involved with this foundation and seeing in the community how many people, everywhere we go, how many people are struggling, the hardest part for me is to see the kids.
Many of the kids that we serve come from underserved neighborhoods where they don't have computers at home. They don't have the opportunity to get help with their homework that they need.
The Bowen Family Foundation focuses on children because they're our future. By helping other nonprofits in Waco, we feel like we can give them a better life. We can give them the support and love that they need.
For organizations that we get to work with that come along and give those kids a chance to have a better life is ultimately what a parent does.
Growing up, my parents were always supportive. They always told us to follow our dreams, that you can do and be whatever you want to be.
I was surrounded by so much support and so much love from my mom and my dad and my sisters, and ultimately gave me the strength to become the man that I am today, to become the musician that I am today, to become the husband and the father that I am today. Everybody goes through struggles. No matter how you grew up, no matter how much money or little money you had or wherever, everything in between, everybody goes through struggles. And so hopefully our organization sets families and kids up with an opportunity to be better people, and to also, most importantly, be strong enough to tackle their problems and meet them head on and know how to handle them and not fall down and never get back up. All right, that's it. Bowen Family Foundation is very, very near and dear to my heart. Obviously, my family runs it. My sister is Jill is in charge of it all, and so it means a lot. So if you want to, like I said, if you want to donate some money, wadebowen.com/tips, and we will make sure that gets to the foundation. After the crazy year we had in 2020, I know a lot of people are struggling and suffering, and our foundation really had a hard year not being able to do what we normally do and raise the money that we normally do. So we could use the help, use the support. But mainly we're here at my house in New Braunfels to play music and talk about Wade's World and talk about Mike Ryan some more, man. I'm doing my best interviewing skills that I can.
You're doing a fine job, as far as I can tell.
I'm doing my best TV host impersonation. I saw in your deal, I just want to ask this real quick. I saw in your deal that it says it referenced whiskey smooth vocals. I'm just curious. Is that a whiskey smooth voice? Is it whiskey influenced, whiskey based? Is that your drink of choice?
Well, from time to time, I was just asked, somebody was asking me the other day, if I'm drinking something on stage, it's typically a vodka drink of some sort. Not too sweet. I'd vodka soda, but with something for flavor. Maybe a little
like
pineapple or lime and ice, definitely.
Just vodka and ice?
Yeah.
You ever have people bring you, I have such a reputation for, my mom's real proud of me and my drinking abilities, especially vodka. And I have people bring me shots of vodka all the time.
That doesn't make any sense at all to me. Like, those people must be real mad at something. Like,
you can tell they're so proud of it, and I'm thankful for it. It means a lot that they spend their money on a shot for me. But a vodka shot is not my choice, right?
No, I can't imagine that it would be anybody's choice that's not just really trying to get through something.
There's some pickle juice in there or some...
Oh, man, that was another thing. For me, there was a short phase near the end of my college years where the pickle shots came into favor, and they went out of favor real quick for me, along with any other pickled flavored drink. Like, I love pickles. I usually, if I eat barbecue or have a hamburger or something, extra pickles.
Hell yeah, boy. Gotta have pickles.
I can't add pickle juice to any sort of beverage and enjoy it
and
anymore.
make it make sense.
Like there's pickled beer now. It's not for me.
No.
I'm not exclusive, man. I drink a lot of different kind of stuff. Whiskey definitely is a favorite. TX in particular. I've become a fan of that over the past couple years. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know exactly how the whiskey smooth. It kind of maybe fits because there's a little bit of, gravel from time to time, a little wear and tear on the old voice from smoky bars, and
it's one of those. It's not supposed to be taken literal, Wade. You can just answer that. No, I just thought it was funny because I hear that in your voice. Not necessarily whiskey, but I do hear the gravel. I get that a lot from people. They're like, except with whiskey, they say gravel. Gravel smooth voice, graveled out smooth voice of vocals of Wade Bowen.
soft gravel. It's like caliche,
Crushed granite voice of Wade Bowen. I don't know. But yeah, man, I thought it was funny. No, you do have a very powerful, strong, unique voice, man. I just love that. I keep saying it the entire time, but I really love it. Put that thing to use. Play us another song.
I sure appreciate it. I'm gonna sing.
He's getting fancy. Look out! He's getting fancy. He's doing all this.
I mean, since I can't see all these requests flying in, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep playing new ones if that's all right.
Yeah. And then we'll do some virtual shots here in a little bit after this one. So
Cool. Well, this one here is for the farmers. This is about a small part of what farmers do for the world, and maybe just a particular type of farmer. Anyway. I grew up out in the country on my daddy's tobacco farm. He fed his family feeding habits, and that weighed heavy on his heart. My Uncle Jake liked Camel menthols, 2 packs a day until he died. I think my daddy took it hardest. Was the only time I saw him cry. He said, "Son, I make a living off them crops out in the field. If it ain't me who plants them seeds, there's someone else who will. The way I justify it is they're gonna buy it either way. I don't smoke it, I just grow it, and I pray for forgiveness and rain." Nowadays in Hickman County, tobacco fields are hard to find. Blame it on the Surgeon General, but it's diversify or die. Now you got cotton and you got cattle, you got corn and you got me. It ain't legal what I'm growing, but I got hungry mouths to feed. And I just make a living off them crops out in the field. If it ain't me who plants them seeds, there's someone else who will. The way I justify it is they're gonna buy it either way. I don't smoke it, I just grow it, and I pray for forgiveness and rain. And there's 2 things I don't want to see, that's a drought or DEA. I don't smoke it, I just grow it, and I pray for forgiveness and rain.
job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, good song. Good song. My buddy Mike Ryan here, everybody. That's who's singing those whiskey smooth vocals. Thanks for tuning in. We're here at my house in New Braunfels, Texas. Another episode of Wade's World, and in Wade's World fashion, tradition, we always do virtual shots. Goes back to the early days, back when we were in a pandemic. Remember those days? And we got shut down, and we all drank together to make it, and played music, and we kept that tradition going. So, all right, you up for a virtual shot here, buddy?
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens here. Is this going to make the show better or worse?
Always better. At first. Better for a while.
Better for us, not better for the show, right? Yeah. I don't even know if we still sell these. I'm going to go easy on you.
Oh, no need for that.
I don't know if we, I think we still sell these. I hope we do. If not, we'll put some up. We'll make sure to get some up. Little shot glasses. You got to be careful with these. They're ceramic or
well,
something.
they are breakable, I guess.
Don't cheers me too hard. All right. Cheers, everybody. Virtual shot time. Woo!
Woohoo!
So smooth.
That's nice.
Now you change it to tequila soaked vocals.
Hey, well, tequila is actually and good choice, by the way, because if I shouldn't be too forthcoming with this, but tequila is my shot of choice. If you're going to bring me something straight to drink, chilled tequila. Chilled, but
yes,
definitely not vodka. But I will take some, some off the wall stuff from time to time. You bring it up, I'm liable to drink it, but I might
not vodka.
Not, yeah.
I got a question for you. So you played. I remember we played a show together the day after you had just got flown in from playing the White House.
Oh yeah,
that was July 4th.
Yes, it was.
I remember 2018 because I believe that was my second show back after my vocal surgery.
That's right.
That.
Yeah.
So I don't know what made me think of that just now, but it all clicked. You see it all click in my head right there? But yeah, I remember talking to you a little bit about that, but explain like where that came from. I'd love to know what also, did you play one song or was it a whole set?
We just played one song.
One song.
So yeah, it was actually just something our publicist followed a lead up, and we were playing in Midland actually the night before. We found out maybe it was probably a week out that we realized we were going to be playing the 4th of July. So it all happened pretty fast. We played Midland the night before, which was cool. It was a good show, and we had fun, but it was kind of a bummer because everybody else that was playing that July 4th show at the White House got there the night before, and they got to meet Trump, and they got to have a whole different experience, but I didn't get to do that because I was playing a show in Texas. So we flew in a day of, and it was actually pretty hectic because my dumb ass I left my wallet on the plane. So we got halfway to the White House, and I realized that I didn't have my wallet, and I was like, they're not going to let you on without ID. So we got back to the airport. Luckily, somebody had found the wallet. They turned it in and met me at the gate. So I got my wallet back, and we hauled ass to the White House and met with Secret Service. That was cool. Like, they were telling me just a bunch of cool stories. One particular Secret Service agent that was like kind of in charge of us was just like filling me in on some details, just about security and different things. That's my first time being on the grounds of the White House as a middle school aged kid. I took a trip to Washington D.C. and we got to walk by it and take some pictures, but never did go inside. And it was, the day was it was a lot of fun. It was kind of hectic and busy, but just like such a cool thing to be invited to and to spend America's birthday on the south lawn of the White House with Trump right over top of us on the balcony, and seeing some other people. Everybody that performed was great, and the Air Force band backed me up, and it was just, I don't know, just a really cool experience that I'll not soon forget.
And I want to point out, because I'm sure out there in virtual world right now there's all kinds of political comments. This is not a political. Wade's World's not about politics, first of all, so I don't even want to hear it. Just don't even talk about it in the comments. I don't want to hear it. We dealt. 2020 was hard enough, and dealing with politics was made it even worse. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and put that to rest if that's out there in the comments section right now, because I don't really care. Because I personally think it's, when you get an invite from the president, whoever it may be, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to be invited by the president, and for him to, whoever it may be, he or she in the future maybe. I mean, for them to sit and watch you play a song is a big deal as an artist, as a performer, Republican or Democrat. That's a big deal to be invited to the White House. I had a buddy that worked there, Aaron. Thank you, buddy, by the way. For he worked there, so he gave us a tour a few years back when we were playing there. It was that tour I did with Stoney and Josh Abbott and Randy and I. We did that 4 on the Floor tour, and he invited all 4 of us to go tour the White House, and it was unbelievable just being on grounds there, seeing everything, getting the tour, walking through the White House. Like you said, I've never been on the grounds either. And then I can't imagine doubling down on that and getting to actually play a song at the White House is on the 4th of July. I mean, that's as America as it gets, man. Yeah. It doesn't get any more American than that. So no politics, all politics aside, that is a hell yeah boy American moment right there. What'd you play?
That was what I played a song called Blink You'll Miss It, which
cool.
is.
Will you play it?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was just a cool experience, like you were saying. Politics aside, it was incredibly flattering to get an invite, to that deal. And, and
was this song chosen by them, or did you
actually they picked this one for me to play. I mean, I would have played whatever, but this one it seemed kind of fitting for the occasion. But this one's called Blink.
What if they asked you to play Reba? Would you do it?
as long as it's not fancy, because only she can do that one.
That would be tough to pull off.
What's the fucking first line of this song?
You need some help? pull up the lyrics. The beauty of pre-recorded, buddy.
That's right. If I can just get the first line, I'll be off and running. Yeah. I'm from could be anywhere, America. Population 403. Just keep going until you see that pump jack. Take a left where Gunny's feed store used to be. Grandpa sent me in to get his liquor, 'cause the truck would die if he let off of a clutch. But back then I didn't know the towns got bigger. Back then I didn't worry about that much. Riding shotgun meant you gotta get the gate. Daddy worked hard every day except when it rains. And 'cause I said so is why his own mom would have to say. We all wave at folks when they pass through. Think you'll miss it, USA. My cousins all came over on Thanksgiving. We'd get hollered at to go outside and play. Past the cottonwood was a touchdown. Uncle Charlie's truck was out of bounds. Two-hand touch, but we tackled anyway. When it gets dark and nothing's open in town, we all loaded up and drove around. Riding shotgun meant you gotta get the gate. Daddy works hard every day except when it rains. 'Cause I said so is why, is all Mom would have to say. We all wave at folks when they pass through. Thank you, Missy U.S. Ain't much to do, ain't much to look at, ain't much at all that I would change. Yeah, we still wave at folks when they drive past, cuss the ones that drive too fast through. Thank you, Missy USA. I'm from could be anywhere, America.
Woo! Mike Ryan, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Ryan is my guest here today on Wade's World. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. How's that virtual shot sitting with you, buddy? Is that all right?
Great.
Perfect. Settling in good. Once again, we are here having fun, playing music. And if you want to help us raise money for the Bowen Family Foundation as well, you can go to wadebowen.com/tips and make a donation there as well. This is what I love to do best. What I love to do most is just sit around, listen to music, play music, hang out with buddies, and drink a wee bit. And hang out. So we're here at my house in New Braunfels, Texas, and we're so glad you joined us. I'll play this one. I wrote this one when I was at Seagill, and with my buddy Adam Hood.
All right.
It's one of those ideas that I had tucked away for like 6 years and couldn't figure out exactly how to wrap my brain around it. And I love how sometimes you have one that's 6 years old and just a simple line is all I had. I had to say anything was all I had. And then it just fell out of the sky like within a couple of hours. Just so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get in the room and get the right person around, it's just crazy how songwriting is like that.
Yep.
It's not easy.
No, it's
Damn,
not.
it's not easy.
It's fun when it works out that way and it just falls out, especially with Adam. Like I'm
he's so good.
Big fan of his. I love it.
He's so great. We've written a lot of songs together, but not enough.
Yep.
I love him to death. So. I'll just come out and say it. I don't come in much. If I'd said it as a question, you probably would have gotten up. 'Cause a pickup line just ain't my style, and I assume it isn't yours. So why don't we just start with a dream? I'm in no mood to think. Please just say anything till the story ramble on. I'll pretend to go along, yeah, 'cause she wears someone else's ring. I let her go 'cause I was blind, and I can't get it off my mind. So say anything. I can't promise that I'll listen or hang on every word, 'cause my thoughts tend to wander every time I think of her. Oh, and how she could have told me all I was doing wrong. Oh, she took my pride and left me broken. all because of things left unspoken. Please just say anything till the story ramble on. I pretend to go along, yeah, 'cause she wears someone else's ring. I let her go 'cause I was blind, and I can't get it off my mind to say anything. Give me pointless words with healing touch. I believe anything you say. Say anything till the story ramble on. Well, I pretend to go along, yeah, 'cause she wears someone else's ring. I let her go 'cause I was blind, and I can't get it off my mind. So say anything, baby, just say anything, anything at all. Virtual applause.
That was great, man.
Thanks, man. Ballads always win in the end for me.
Man, yeah, it's a shame you can't just make an album full of ballads and sell 1 million copies. You know,
Some people do. It's not us.
I've always had a soft spot, never too early to break out a ballad, as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah, it's just sometimes folks don't really seem like they want to go out on a Friday or Saturday night and really party balls to a ballad song.
No, they
you know?
don't. They want to, but that's always been the strength of country music to me, is the sad heartbreak.
Yep.
The sad heartbreak simplicity of country music. That's what makes it great, and the emotion that singers and songwriters capture with country music. That
Oh, yeah.
I think sometimes nowadays gets lost a lot in the pure countries, all the smoke and the lights, you know, Dusty, whatever, George Strait,
Oh, yeah.
you know, BS. All the smoke and the lights and the loops and the hip hops that have, and the pop things that have creeped into country music, which is great. You know, you have to adapt and adjust, and times are always changing. But I do think a lot of that gets lost, and in the country music, a lot of stuff nowadays, you know.
Sure.
But that's another episode we'll talk about. We've mentioned Seagull a couple of times today, but the average listener does not understand what we're talking about. The average viewer does not understand a publishing deal, and that's what we're referring to as Seagull. We both wrote there, so. And I was new to this. I remember I got a call from a lady named Alicia Pruitt, who actually was like, "I love your record that you I just released, Lost Hotel," and I was literally at the zoo with my family, you know, and my son was just born, my first son, and she said, "I think you should come up here and look at doing a publishing deal." And I was like, "What is a publishing deal? I have no clue what you're talking about." She said, "Well, you know, it's a long story, but pretty much, you know, you get paid to write songs." And I was like, "What? You get paid to write songs?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to make money at this, you know?" And I had no clue. So I lined up like 15 publishing meetings in like 3 days, all over Nashville, and learned a lot. A lot of people laughed at me, and a lot of people loved it. It was just, you know, but I remember going through it, and then I chose Seagull as my final choice. And so I wrote there for like 6 years, and they not only helped me become better at the craft of songwriting by getting in the room with people like Lee Thomas Miller and Chris Stapleton before anybody knew Stapleton, and so many of these people that you learn from and soak it up, and that was a huge part of my publishing deal. But also at the same time, they were the ones who were responsible for me getting in that major record deal with Sony Records that I was there for like a minute and a half. But they were responsible for all of that, and so it was a lot of fun. So I'm trying to explain it to you best when we're talking about, because we were both there at the same time, and I'm sure it's presented some good opportunities with you. I was seeing some stuff about, you did some stuff with Brad Paisley. I know you played on some of your stuff too. I mean, things like that those opportunities bring, bring some opportunities like that.
Absolutely. No, it was, I feel like I was very fortunate to get that opportunity. They kind of chose me. It wasn't something that I was really like, I was kind of in your boat. Like I knew what publishing deals were. I knew that there, some of my peers and a bunch of other people had them, but at the time I hadn't really taken any trips to Nashville. I knew that they existed, but it wasn't something that I was pursuing. And then Chris actually got a hold of us one time. He had gotten a copy of our record from Robert Gallagher over at Billy Bob's, and he invited us up for a meeting, and I played a little acoustic show. I played at the Basement Bar there in Nashville, and I actually had to pay $100 for a 30-minute slot. And I thought that was bonkers. I was like, I'm paying you to play for half hour? I mean, I wasn't expecting to get paid, but it was weird that I was actually having to pay. But anyways, it turned out to be worth it, because Chris came to that show, and I just played for half an hour or so. We visited afterwards, and the next day we had a meeting, and he started talking to me about how he really would like to have me on the roster, and I was just blown away. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to get an offer. I just thought I was meeting somebody that owned a publishing company, and it was kind of starting this first journey into a new town. I'd never been to Nashville before that, so it was great. And I feel I just really enjoyed every write that I had up there. Being in the room with all these people that do it for a living, and that's all they do. They write songs, and they do it 4 or 5 days a week. And a lot of them aren't artists at all. They don't have any plans of being an artist. They go to work and they write songs. And learning from those people. Chris Dubois in particular, Brent Anderson, Lynn Hutton, some of my favorite writers up there, and we got a lot of really good stuff done, and they taught me so much just about how to approach songwriting, and there's so many different processes. Like there's a lot of people that are just rapid fire, like everything that comes to their head they're speaking, and just I figured out quickly that that's not how I do it. I'm more like, I'm a thinker. Like it takes me a while to spit something out. I don't want to say anything stupid, so I'm just like, I'm piecing things together in my head, and when it's over, or when I get something that I feel like makes sense, I'll say it or play it or whatever. And I just thought that it was really cool to learn from other people's process, and we got a lot of songs written, and I owe a big portion of my career just to that relationship that I've had with those guys, because they got me a lot farther, a lot quicker than I probably would have been able to do on my own. Yeah, and you learned from it all. I mean, getting in the rooms with those people is great, but also just the fact of having to do it consistently and all that. It's really good for you and good for any songwriter. And it's really scary nowadays, because there are so many amazing, fantastic songwriters that are not artists, like you said, and it's really a struggle for songwriters right now to find a way to make a living. We when we initially launched Wade's World back in March of last year, we were giving money to Music Cares, and Music Cares is a wonderful organization. If you're looking for a way to help songwriters, musicians, anybody, Music Cares does a lot for a lot of musicians and a lot of songwriters. But and we raised a lot of money for them last year. I'm really glad, really happy that everybody helped us do that, because obviously last year the
songwriters and the musicians struggled as bad as anybody, you know. And so, but moving forward with all the streaming and the new way of doing things, it's I worry for them, you know. I worry for the songwriters that are like you said, that are every day. They wake up, work so hard, and go to the room and sit there and wait for inspiration to happen, and they have such a beautiful way of crafting music, and I'm hoping we can move past all this somehow into the streaming future and find a way to take better care of the songwriter, because it's really important.
No, and that's something I've you know, before I started writing up there, I didn't really recognize how important that it was. You know, you see, I hope most people, if they like a song, they go to the credits and see who wrote it and like try and familiarize themselves with a lot of these guys they just exist in the credits. Like they're not familiar, they're not celebrities, they just write great songs. But I've never been too proud to play songs that I didn't write, like, and not that I'm really changing the world by doing that, but I feel like there's so many good songs and so many good songwriters out there, and these days it seems like a lot more songwriting artists, and so like the guys that are just songwriters kind of get pushed to the side by artist writers that write their own songs. And you know, and there might be an album that was recorded 10 or 15 years ago that had a bunch of songs written by other people. Nowadays, like, most of those songs are being written by the artists, and so there's just a lot of songwriters that aren't getting cuts on records like they used to. And so, yeah, again, not that I'm changing the world by doing that, but I usually have, you know, at least a couple of songs on every record that I put out that I didn't write. I'm just big fans of, and there's a lot of great songwriters out there I feel like can tell a story that works for my records.
You're right. Great songwriters, great songs out there. So many great songs out there that people have never heard. I hear them every day. It's crazy. I get sent so many songs from Nashville cats that are just fantastic. Mm-hmm. People like Travis Meadows, who's, you know, struggling right now too as well with his health. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, such a crazy world, man. I want to ask you. Don't forget to hit your pedal down there, like everybody always forgets. But I do want to kind of, as we get towards the end here, I know artists hate getting asked this question, but what is your most requested song, and would you play that? Because I'm sure people want to hear that today before we get out of here. What's the most requested song if you have to play every single night?
Well, I could be wrong. I feel like I hear a lot of requests for "Damn Good Goodbye." That's a more recent tune. We just released that one within the last couple years.
Dancing All Around It too.
That's been that was kind of the first. That was the first song I actually wrote after signing up at Seagale, and that one, I feel like, opened a whole lot of doors for me. It was the first single off my first record, Bad Reputation, that I'd written all the songs up with Seagale. I put out a couple records before then, but I feel like Bad Rep kind of, I don't know, like, it opened a lot of doors, kind of put me on the map, as they say. And so that's one that, if we're talking like start to finish, like throughout my whole career, Dancing All Around is probably one of my top requests. But here recently, Damn Good Goodbye, I would say.
Either one of those. I'm sure these guys are out there in virtual world taking virtual shots and whatever you're doing. I'm sure they'd want to hear either one. So I know the artists always like, when I'm doing interviews with people and the guest asks me forces me to play something, I always hate that. But I just I know people want to hear certain things as they're putting the comments below and stuff, so I'm sure they'd want to hear one of these. Whatever you want, your choice. Your choice.
I'll play Damn Good Goodbye, because it's become one of my favorite songs to play. Honestly, I wrote this one from a very real place. It seemed like my senior year of high school, my parents took a lot of vacations. They did a lot. They took a lot of trips and left me and my brother. Well, my older brother, both of them actually were both out of high school and out of the house. So my senior year of high school, when they left, I just had the place to myself, and I usually brought over friends to spend the time with me. And so that was kind of where this one originated. But anyway, damn good goodbye. We met up at my place 'cause my folks were out of town. It was our last night together. We were gonna make it count. We were headed off to Auburn, Texas Tech, and Kansas State. Like a band of brothers breaking up with one more show to play. So we drank a case of Shiner on my daddy's maker's mark. Pulled them speakers on the back porch, sat around, smoked cigars, sang along and laughed till dawn, and watched that red sunrise. That was a damn good goodbye. I was hurting that next morning, but I had one thing left to do. 'Cause the only girl I'd ever loved was bound for Baton Rouge. We said we'd make it work. Well, we both knew that was a lie. High school love ain't strong enough for a 7-hour drive. So we parked out by the football field where we knew we'd be alone. Leaned them bucket seats way back, made love all night long. Jumped the fence, sat in the stands, and watched that red sunrise. Well, that was a damn good goodbye. Sometimes they go bad, oh, but sometimes they turn into the best times you ever had. Nothing makes a memory you'll take with you all your life like a damn good goodbye.
Sir.
Thank
Great
you.
song, man. Great song.
Thank you, man.
Great song. Great singing. Thank you for everybody once again tuning in to another episode of Wade's World. So glad we're bringing these back. Keep supporting them because I'd love to keep doing them. Keep bringing you guys. Keep bringing you music. Here from my home in New Braunfels, Texas. We love each and every one of you. Once again, a huge thank you, Mike. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your crazy, hectic, busy schedule to drive to New Braunfels and hang out.
Well, thank you for having me, man, and thank you for doing this.
You're
Honestly,
always welcome
man,
to do it.
this has been over the last year like such a nice thing to have consistent, just good entertainment as often as you've done it. Like these live streams have been a really good thing. I know for a lot of people, just some semblance of normalcy and to see a familiar face and to hear a good song. So,
Yeah,
cheers
man.
to you. Good on
Thanks.
you, buddy. Thanks for having me out.
It's fun, man. Like I said, I love music and love hanging out with buddies, and this is what this is all about. And you know, every time I call you to I try not to bug you too much, but when I do, you always answer the call. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. It means more than I could ever say thanks. So he's always helped us raise money for the Bowen Family Foundation. He's done so many events with us in the past, and once again, he's here today. Thank you again for helping us raise some money. Hopefully we raise a little bit of money out there. WadeBowen.com/tips. And this concludes another fantastic episode of Wade's World. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody hang in there. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay cold. I don't know, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for loving and loving our music and helping us, allowing us to do what we love to do with our lives. We love you so much. See you soon. Call your mom.
What a better way